welcome to Beginning Drawing. My name is Miss Walker. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a quick tour of the class website, which is linked on Aries. This website is important to the class because everything your students need is here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the About menu. Everything on the About menu, this page, and everything in the drop-down menu here, you'll see blended learning, my expectations, drawing expectations, grading and deadlines, and study drawings. All of this is basically my green sheet. Okay, so in a nutshell, because I do things a little bit differently from everybody else, I teach through what's called blended learning. Blended learning is a mixture of the best of online learning with the best of in-person learning. So what that means is the students will work through the assignments online while I'm here to help them and guide them and make sure that they're doing things correctly. So I don't stand in front of the class to do the demonstrations. Everything's already online. The good thing about that is that no matter what happens, if they have to take some time away from school or if they're absent for however long, they know exactly what they're doing, and they can also watch demonstrations over and over and over again. It's not just me doing it once for the whole class. Now, as far as grading and deadlines are concerned, this is very different from everybody else too. I do not give my students any deadlines. They work through the material at their own pace. And as far as the grading goes, I have actually completely gotten rid of rubrics. I am now the rubric, so when a student feels that they are done, they bring it to me, and I will give them pointers on what I want them to do to continue to work their drawings or add detail, more value, more texture, whatever it is that they're learning at that moment. Once I feel that they have reached their limit and they have done the best they absolutely can, and I feel like they've learned the concept of the assignment, I will take their assignment and grade it, and I give it the full points. So yes, again, about the deadlines, there are no deadlines. So what this also means is that I still do, though, expect students to work through the material at a reasonable pace. Sometimes there's always a student or two who figures out that they don't have to work all year. They can just do one assignment and write on that A and then pretend to be working. It doesn't work like that. I am very aware of who is lagging on purpose and who's really struggling. So I have a policy that if somebody is just not working in class, I will give them zeros on the work that should have been completed. However, those zeros are temporary. They're motivational, so as soon as they turn in the actual work, they get the real grade. Okay, so that's how I kind of stop them from sort of lagging all year. Now, let's go ahead and look at my expectations. A lot of students get worried that their drawing skills aren't immediately perfect. I tell them not to worry about that. They don't take calculus with the assumption that they already know calculus, right? So it's the same exact thing in drawing. I teach them how to draw from the very beginning. Like we literally start with stick figures. I also do not compare my students to each other. I look at personal growth, personal ability, and that's how I make the call on whether or not they're actually done with an assignment. I expect my students to be very respectful of each other and myself, of course, and to take care of our supplies. Phones are okay in my class for listening to music or using to look up reference materials. Where I draw the line, of course, is with watching videos or playing video games. That's totally unacceptable. You might even allow them to answer the occasional text every once in a while because they're going to do it anyway, so I'm not going to fight that. So let's go ahead and look at some of the units here. If you hover over part 1, you'll see all the units. These are the basic units that I want my students to get through. The first 2 are basically just a vocabulary practice, and then it's drawing training, everything from line and shape all the way down to perspective. Okay, so if we look at a basic example, let's go to unit 4. I'll show you how they're kind of laid out. Here we have This one's about value. So you'll see like little videos for them to take notes on. And when I say take notes, it's like really brief. They should have a Google Doc or a notebook where they've been taking notes. The Google Docs they share with me so I can check them immediately. Then we have little assignments that build up to a bigger one. So these ones are like doing a little value scale. So here's the directions and then images of what I want them to do, a video of me actually doing it. And then when they're done, they come to these little red lines right here, and that's when they know, come show me, and I give them their points. Okay? And they move on to a worksheet, so things get gradually a little bit more complex. Okay, and then I have stuff that's just kind of helpful hints and pointers, like this stuff about pencil grades, measuring, citing angles, stuff like that. So these aren't an assignment, they're just things to make their lives easier. And then I try to give them choice in their assignments. So you'll see like they'll have to do a still life, and they can choose to either do it in just regular graphite pencil or in colored pencil, which is kind of a challenge level. And they go through. Now, when they get to this, they know that they'll go up to another page. It's the resources page. And this has images for them to draw. Now, for the white still life, we have slideshows, and they can actually choose whatever they want to do. There's also a challenge level. So this is for the slightly more advanced students who feel that they can handle it. And a surprising number of kids actually do this, which is great. So you can see that the difference, these are definitely more complex. But I also let them kind of choose their own thing. Like, let me show you an example. In Unit 3, there's the negative space assignment, and right here, where they learn to draw around the objects they're drawing. The thing that they're supposed to draw for that is not the most exciting picture. It is these chairs, and I tell them regularly, you know, if you find something better, you don't like this, you can go ahead and find another image and then go ahead and run it past me. So I'm open to giving them a lot of choice. I think that that helps a lot with their interest in the work that they're doing. Okay, so all of this builds up to the white still life assignment. So you'll see tons of little demonstration videos where I go all the way through it. Then there's these extra little drawings that they'll run into. These are called the study drawings. The list of these is actually in the About page, study drawings right here. So these are a series of separate drawings that they do in between the other ones. It's meant to be like practice kind of stuff, but it also gives them a little bit of a ability to be way more creative. So the first three I control, like the first one is just a pair of shoes and a line drawing. And then the next one is value, and the next one's texture. That's because we're still learning those things. But once they learn those things, then they can go crazy and draw anything they want within these categories. This is where I let them sneak in some of their beloved manga style stuff. Okay, so moving on all the way, lots of choice, like I said. Okay, and then the biggest assignments are always at the end. They're kind of cumulative, everything you've learned, let's throw it all together and get kind of crazy with it. Sorry, I'm scrolling really fast. So here's the ideal situation. The ideal thing is that they finish everything in units 1 through 9. After they do that, they can move on to part 2. And in this section here, they can actually pick and choose whatever they want to draw for the rest of the year. So every year I only have maybe like a handful of students who get through all the way through the end of unit 9. So then I have them just kind of choose whatever they want. It would be nice if more kids got to this, because this is the fun part. This is where I let them really custom tailor their education. This is all the stuff that I've always wanted to teach but never have the time to teach, so I thought I would bring that in for part 2. So like you saw, we have the resources page with pictures. We also have a student gallery with slideshows of examples for students to look at, and we also have a contact page. So if you ever have any questions, of course you can just email me directly, but if you're looking at this, you can go ahead and do that through there. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.